There are some questions that there just really is no answer to at all, and this is one of the main ones. What type of content should I be producing? My name's Chris Hargraves. This is Digital Marketing Mastery for lawyers, and you need to consider what type of content you're going to produce. Obviously, for the lawyers, the significant amount of content is produced as written content. Now, written content is not bad, although I do think a lot of lawyers are bad at producing it, but that's a topic for another day. The topic for today is, what type of content should I be producing? And there really are only four options. You can write something down, you can do a video, you can do audio, or you can do an image, or some sort of combination of the above. Now, this particular series you'll notice I'm doing on video and on podcast, and if I've gotten around to it by the time you're listening to this, there might also be a transcript. I'm probably not going to turn it into articles, because turning this much stuff into an article-friendly form is going to take an enormous amount of time, and I'm not thoroughly convinced that it's worth it just at the moment. Time will tell whether I'm right about that or not. But for you, there will be a temptation here to chase the vanity metrics, because what you will notice is that something like an inspirational quote with a little background that's a little bit blurry or whatever is going to attract a lot of social attention. You might get lots of likes on it, you might get lots of shares on it. My question is, going back to what I said in a previous episode, what is that doing for you precisely in a strategic perspective? What is it achieving for you from a strategic perspective? Because in every piece of decision making that you have when it comes to your digital marketing program, you need to be asking that question. What is the strategic objective that this particular decision I am making is going to fulfill? Now, my personal view, right at the moment, it is pretty obvious that video, for whatever reason, seems to be doing fairly well. There are a number of reasons. First is that the social media channels are pushing their native video platforms. And so if you can incorporate that into your content mix, then I think that's a good idea. However, a lot of people don't watch videos. Why? Because for some people it's simply faster to read. They can read an article on the same topic, or even a transcript of the video on the same topic, much faster than having to wait for you to actually get to the point that you were trying to make, or to deliver the value that you promised to deliver in the headline. We're going to come to headlines a little bit later in this series, but I did want to actually highlight that just because video is being pushed by the digital channels doesn't mean that video is necessarily the only medium, but it is one that you should be considering. A lot of lawyers are very nervous about video, and the reason is because you haven't done it very much. My original videos were terrible. You should definitely not watch them if you can find them, but they were quite bad. But once you get into it, once you've had a few practices, once you've done your sort of 5 burn videos that you can throw in the bin, then you'll find that actually things get a lot better. You get a lot more comfortable on camera. But frankly, the only 2 relevant questions here as so far as what content you should be producing are these. What does your audience prefer? Okay, for the type of content you are going to be delivering, what does your audience prefer? Now, you might not have a good feel for this, and so your best option might be to do a few different things. The second thing is, which are you the best at? Do not automatically assume that just because you're a lawyer, you're best at writing. I think the vast majority of written material that appears on law firm blogs is terrible from a marketing and relationship development perspective. They might be excellent scholarly articles, which are relevant only to a tiny, tiny niche practice of lawyers, but offer no relationship building attributes whatsoever. So be careful assuming that you know what you're doing when it comes to writing articles, because the truth is you might be far more engaging and receive far better feedback and relationship brownie points with your potential clients by doing something other than writing. I view it as degrees of trust is a good way to look at it. An image on a quote generates no real trust for you. Your personality is not evident in the image, and very little of you is in there. There's no authenticity about it. Anyone could do it, and you are completely removable from the situation. An article at least has a certain amount of you in it, unless you've gone and removed all the personality from it, which a lot of lawyers do. A podcast has your voice, and if you are explaining something well, if you are relatively articulate, and if you can deliver those complex scenarios in simple to understand language, people might appreciate that much more. And it's got the added element that it's very hard to be inauthentic when you're speaking yourself. Okay, you don't get to just polish out all of the personality like we do in an article. Video, you have all the benefits of the podcast, but the increased benefit that you are visible. Okay, so people can see your face and hear your voice. The downside is that people have a tendency not to watch longer videos, but that doesn't necessarily mean you shouldn't do them. It just means that you might find your views go down a little bit, but you can easily turn a video into a podcast, and you can easily turn a podcast into an article, and you can easily turn an article into a series of quotes to go on images. So my best bet, if you have no earthly idea what your potential clients might prefer, is to try a little bit of everything. Do a content mix. Then on any given day, your clients can be seeing you doing different forms of consumable media, all for their benefit, because you're providing value for them as part of your content. That's my thoughts on this particular topic. So your homework, your decision that you need to make now is this. What's your content mix going to be? And how are you going to streamline the process so that you're not constantly thinking about it too hard and wasting time? What's your content mix going to be? Make that decision, and for your next piece of content, make sure you execute it in the way that you decide upon. That's it for me. Hit the subscribe button if you want to continue getting these. I think they're pretty awesome, but then I'm talking to myself in the middle of a room, so make sure that you offer some comments, ask some questions. If you want me to deal with topics, I would welcome the suggestions. See you next time.